Thanks to KAICIID's a great will to promote world peace and great vision to provide excellent education. It's a great honor and privilege for me to be here to share with you my thought. I'm going to share with you the image of the other from the perspective of Buddhism in China. The story of the development of Buddhism in China is certainly an insightful case of religious interaction and of interfaith exchanges and of dialogue. It is also much more than that. Indeed, through the centuries, Buddhism interacted with all levels of Chinese culture. Since its early arrival in China at the beginning of the first century, Buddhism impregnated the Chinese landscape and the Chinese people's lives with a new vitality and with a new perspective on age-old questions and the dilemma. Obviously, it is impossible to recapitulate in less than 5 minutes a development process that spanned over 2,000 years. In no way would it do justice to the complexity of the rich and fascinating interaction that took place between Buddhism as a foreign way of life and the native way of China. Yet I believe it is possible to focus on a phenomena that came to represent, in my view, the overall attitude of the Chinese people toward what we now call religion. I do not pretend that this attitude always prevailed, nor do I try to diminish the many episodes of conflicts that divide the proponents of the various way, for there were many and took on many forms, for more peaceful to more violent ones. Nevertheless, I believe that these conflicts and the debates that they generate were somehow part of a gradual process of harmonization, and that came to define Chinese Buddhism, be it the Han tradition or the Tiantai or any other schools that developed on Chinese soil. As one of the most ancient human civilizations, the people of China have a time to mature in their understanding of tradition and of social cohesion. Recognizing diversity as a fact of life, Chinese thought brings individuals into the broader, holistic context of a cosmos and of a society in such a way as to promote a balanced and wealthy living environment conducive to the growth and the fulfillment. It might be bold to state, especially in the face of so many failures, but I believe that this tradition of dialogue, of exchange, and integration informs even the Chinese value of today as promoted by the Communist Party. The specific aspect of a Chinese approach to religion that I am trying to highlight here consists in its non-sectarian and practical approach to the practice of religion. Although one may find in China 3 major competing traditions, namely Confucianism, Taoism, and Buddhism, the average Chinese person adheres to all of them simultaneously without perceiving any inherent conflict in this attitude. Most of us were educated in Confucianism and Taoism before embracing or learning about Buddhism. In the old days, many of the Buddhist monks were born as members of aristocracy and would have been educated in Confucian and Taoist value and forms. Because they knew so well the mental and psychological preoccupation of their kinds, they could use the vocabulary of one tradition to expose another. By proceeding in that way, they facilitated the assimilation of new ideas and values and worked toward Sinicization of Buddhism. Now the reason I'm highlighting here the non-sectarian attitude of Chinese people toward religion is that I feel that it is a powerful demonstration of the possibility of peace within ourselves and within our society. This is what we need today in an age of relentless sectarian violence. Sectarian hatred is nourished by false conception that feed up distorted perception of identity. This confused and dualistic identification with a fictitious idea has been dividing mankind for too long. It creates groups such as we and them. It divided people into good and bad, and the community into faithful and infidels. Finally, it divides the whole world between heaven and hell. In my understanding, this rigid sense of identity, this extreme view that one is the measure of all things, is the source of all fears and suspicions, the source of hatred, attachment, and ignorance. This is exactly what in Buddhism we call the three poisons. The contribution of the Buddha remains highly significant in that respect on today's world stage. He told us to let go of our false identity to shade our ego once and for all. In the Buddha's view, this is the only way to free ourselves from eternal misery and to live in harmony with the natural order of things. It is not a dogma, but a human aspiration of a highest kind. It is something that we can all do if we are sincere in our aspiration. It is within our reach if we simply dare to admit that none of us can ever grasp the ultimate truth. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.